Truth is the workplace is changing dramatically, it's changing fast. Not just with AI, artificial intelligence, not just with more remote work, hybrid work, offshoring and outsourcing, more contract-based work, the gig economy, all these type of buzzwords I'm sure you've heard. The workplace environment is significantly changing, and that's something I'm here to help you navigate through. Now, I've worked at top companies such as Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, HSBC, studied economics at London School of Economics, and I'm myself here, Economics Ethan, are here to help you navigate that changing workplace environment. So let's dive straight into this video, which covers how careers have changed and how, something that could be considered corporate slavery or office slavery, the modern day slavery of working in the office. This gives you a bit of context on how that environment is kind of changing and how you can best adapt to it. And I'll give you some useful commentary from my experience.
Physical NFTs through the MySpace storefront, the average...
By the way, when they say that the workforce has changed, how could it not? We've essentially sent kids to school on a government-backed loan that they can't even get rid of. So when the government steps in, tells everybody that they will loan out money, it's guaranteed. And so now everybody and their mama can get a loan that they may not be worthy of getting. Then they go to school to get the dumbest degree. So now everybody and their mom has a degree. And so having a bachelor's doesn't mean anything anymore. You need a master's, and having a master's doesn't mean anything. You need something else. And by the time you're ready to go to work for a job, you don't have the experience needed anyway, because they're not teaching you the shit you really need to learn. And it doesn't really apply to the job you're applying for. They have to retrain you for the actual job and what it's really like. Because what you learned in school is nothing like the actual business in real life. It's wild, dude.
So what is he trying to say here? He's trying to explain to you that essentially, the current system is not working correctly, right? Firstly, it used to be a unique thing to work, to study at university and get a degree, but now everyone's getting a degree, and the quality of those degrees has dramatically declined. The university has become a politicized place, as you can see, in America right now. Regardless of when you're watching this, there's always a new restriction on free speech. There's a new thing to protest about, a new person or gender or race or religion to complain about. And this is what the university's become. Then you go into the corporate workplace. They want all this experience from you. They're not training you effectively. You start a job. I remember starting a job at a major investment bank, and then my direct manager was not explaining basic things to me of how to use certain systems. He's just expecting me to figure things out by myself when it could take him 5 minutes to explain how simple things like a system works. So this is the type of manipulative situations you deal with in the workplace environment, type of rigged game you're in. You're kind of put into debt because you got to get a university loan to get the top job. You get the top job, they're not really training you properly. You've not got a good trajectory to promotions. There's a whole bunch of scams that you're kind of having to navigate as a decent hardworking person, and they exploit you from a very early age moving forward. So what you need to do is understand a few key things, and that's what we're going to come on to next.
And do the extra hours themselves, which, let me say this, as a former...
Why would you be loyal to a company when they're not loyal to you? You were told that if you just go to college, you're going to get a job that's going to be consistent, stable in your life until you're dead, and you're going to be able to retire with a happy nest egg. That's not true. We've seen it over and over again. Corporations treat people... The fact that corporations have gotten so large and have gotten in bed with government where they can do whatever they want, they throw you away. You're nothing. They cut and they downsize departments left and right. Corporate raiders will come and chop up a company into little pieces and sell off the profitable bits and toss away the rest.
So what we need to understand here, again, so the first harsh lesson we had to learn is that the university career trajectory path is completely fake, completely rigged. I'm speaking from experience as someone who's worked for over 10 years within top finance corporations, top companies, right? Second thing is, the company loyalty is dumb. Don't show loyalty to a company. Be nice and polite with people you're working with so they don't stab you in the back, even though they'll probably end up doing that sooner or later. What you should do is go work for a company and then jump to another company for a higher pay as quick as you can. I would say after 3 years. Maximum stay at a company for 3 years and then look elsewhere for a higher promotion. You're dealing with a lot of fake people in the workplace environment. The company's not loyal to you. They want you to be loyal to the company. You're not going to be getting paid significant pay rises compared to if you did leave the company. And don't drink all the corporate Kool-Aid. Just be professional enough to get your work done and then move forward with your life.
Then all the other shit in a corporate office that they're going to automate real quick.
Hours they put in and the performance they achieve. People with experience in tech, pharmaceuticals, or finance could become managers, or they could cross-skill into sales and become salaried plus commission reps. They will get a lower base wage, but even average performers can earn $250,000 to $500,000 a year in commissions, putting them well ahead of any mid-level manager in the same industry. Doing a role where they are not responsible for the performance of any subordinates also means that they are free from the stress of dealing with workers who don't want to put in any overtime or work towards getting a promotion. Instead, they are only responsible for themselves and their work. If they want to make a lot more money one month, they can hustle like crazy and work on closing more sales or doing more overtime. If they want more work-life balance, they won't be letting down a team beneath them. Skilled,
Now, what does this little clip that we just seen cover? What we need to understand is if you are working in the corporate environment and you want to escape, in a sense, you want to have a much higher income than you currently do, you want to be able to retire early, you want to find alternative solutions where you might be able to have more flexible working, contract work, work from home, the gig economy, maybe work in the office a few days, network, build a few of your own clients, have time for your side business and your main day job. You need to think differently, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help people who are open-minded to thinking differently, right? If you want to follow the standard career path, I can help you with that, but that's not really going to give you the desired outcome, which you will have over some time, which will be for more time freedom, for more ability to live your life on your own terms. So what you need to kind of consider is that you need to consider alternative opportunities. So in this case, he gave examples of people who are skilled in finance or skilled in tech. Now, you might stay in your finance management role forever, your tech developer role forever, but what is a bit more lucrative? Going into tech sales or finance sales, where you're selling financial products or tech products, you're getting a commission, you might get lower base salary, but you lower your living costs in accordance with that. But the commissions for making those sales can be incredibly high. You can go from making 100K a year finance job or tech job to a 250K total compensation sales job, because you've leveraged your finance or tech expertise. You've developed some sales skills on the side through maybe going through your own sales training program. There are many out there. And then you can double your income in a matter of years rather than incrementally increase it in your standard boring corporate 9-to-5 career path of getting a $5,000 pay rise, $10,000 pay rise, then maybe you get a $15,000 pay rise, you get a promotion, you maybe go up another $5,000. That takes forever. By that time, a decade or two of your life would have gone by, and you wouldn't even climb that much because inflation would have increased at a faster rate than your salary has, which has happened for many people. So what you need to do is think about radical solutions. That's not just setting up your own business. That's not just looking for sales roles. But it's really thinking about what is your unique skill set. How can you market yourself as a very effective company of one, which is a good book to read. Like an individual who's highly skilled, got a good skill stack. In the tech industry, a skill stack might be understanding a bunch of different coding languages. In the finance industry or other industries, it might be like, okay, cool, well, I've got technical finance skills or accounting skills. I understand I've got good project management skills. I've got some sales skills. Let me combine that and become a unique employee, a unique worker who can work on a freelance or contract basis and dictate my terms to a certain extent, given you're quite a unique person. This is what you need to do to adapt to the new economy.
Of what essentially was the predatory loan process that banks were undertaking during that time. And for my 21st birthday, it was in North Carolina. We were living in Georgia at the time. For my 21st birthday, we had to drive up there. I don't know, it was like a 3-hour drive, wherever it was. 4-hour drive, 5-hour drive, can't remember. I remember sitting in the car wondering, like, dude, normal people at their 21st birthday are drinking alcohol, are partying with their friends, going out of town, are clubbing. I'm sitting here stuck on a car ride to help my parents who don't speak English to hopefully save the house so we don't live on the street. That has a powerful effect on you. And then this was still me and my bug sandwich days.
So what you need to understand here is this guy was talking about in his younger age when you had the 2008 financial collapse, where the subprime mortgages of houses led to houses being foreclosed on, people becoming homeless or having to radically downsize their housing situation in the US. So what you need to understand is the system you're operating under is very manipulative. It's full of manipulative liars. The government, major corporations, in certain extents, the financial system or the media, things like that. So his family got caught up in a situation where they bought a house that they couldn't afford because they had this kind of subprime mortgages and the interest rate was rising. They'd have higher payments. They had to downsize and move to a radically smaller house. So these are the type of radical scenarios that people are being put in, right? So what you should understand is from the very start of your early teen years, really, you'll start to figure out how rigged the game is. You know, you're studying hard at school, but it doesn't necessarily going to pay off in terms of higher pay later on. You get a really big loan to do a good degree at a good university. You might not get a job that's going to pay off well. And then if you do get a job that pays off well, you might end up in a situation where you buy a property that's radically overpriced, the price could drop, the interest rate, mortgage payments can go up dramatically. You're dealing with all these kind of like scams you're trying to avoid and trying to live your life in peace. You're not trying to exploit anyone. You're constantly got other forces trying to exploit you. So you have to be aware of these type of scenarios in the workplace environment. In other videos I covered, you know, dealing with these type of difficult co-workers. But it's really the workplace environment, your financial situation. You need to really be on the ball, because through lowering your living costs, making smart, frugal, minimalist lifestyle decisions, you can really maximize your freedom, maximize your money, and minimize your exposure to what is a collapsing Western civilization, the collapsing financial system, the collapsing social dynamics. That's why it's important not to follow the traditional path and listen to someone like me who can give you these alternative solutions. And he's going to cover this in a few minutes. So let's listen to this.
That happening, for me at the time, moving from California to Georgia felt like a curse. And what I want people to understand about this story is that some of the moments in your life where you feel like you're down bad, like it's the biggest curse, right? It's your biggest obstacles sometimes turn out to be your biggest blessings. For me, coming back from California was the biggest blessing ever. I escaped the trap of, you know, college, work, married, kids. And at the time, or while you're in it in the moment, I should say, you may not realize that, where it may seem like everything is hopeless, that is this happening to you? But I feel like in the hardest times you learn the most, and when you're getting tested actively and you just keep moving without stopping. Don't let it make you quit. You only fail when you quit. But if you just keep going, man, the hardest times in your life that may have seemed like a trap or an obstacle is actually the biggest, most blessed moments of your entire life.
So what does this cover here, right? He followed a path that wasn't a traditional path. He moved from a major city to, I think, where he originally grew up. Typically people move to major cities for those high income jobs. He moved to a more lower cost location. He considered alternative income sources. He mentioned setting up his own business. I won't cover that in this video, but he didn't follow the traditional path. And the truth is, the traditional path does not work. So you can't keep pursuing it. You can't keep saying, oh, I'm just going to work for a major company and then go for one promotion after the other until I can maybe buy a house, then buy a second house and rent that out, and then get married and have kids. That's not really going to work. It might work for some people, but what you're going to have to do is sacrifice loads of your time, sacrifice loads of your freedom, and increasingly, you know, you're put under pressure in the corporate environment to agree to political views you don't agree with, liberalism, feminism, and things like that. And they just beat you over the head with this propaganda while you're working, while you're dealing with inflation and social issues and economic issues. So it's really, you got to think outside the box, and that's why like videos like this hopefully help open your mind up. What is your unique skill set? How can you build a skill stack that allows you to deal with this difficult scenarios we're dealing with as most people in the West?
And this is what you could learn from it. That's it. Omni, thanks, brother, for the 50. Working for yourself is very difficult but rewarding if you make it. I lost thousands starting my construction business and learning on my own. I was close to giving up, but I kept at it until I was profitable. You only fail once you quit, 100%. The stress of being an entrepreneur, there's nothing like it. I haven't had a steady income, dude, since I started the business. And I don't think I'd ever go back. I don't think I'll take the security of a corporate job over being an entrepreneur and stressing about when the next dollar comes ever again. I can't go back to that. I rather know that I get paid a linear amount based on the amount of work I put in. That moment is what I'll get paid. If I choose not to work that day, I get $0. I don't get paid.
And what you need to understand is if you are considering the transition from the traditional workplace environment where, as I say, it's just not going to work out over the long term, apart from the handful of people who are like sucking up and playing the corporate game and playing office politics and all the other nonsense that comes with it. If you're someone who's not willing to play that corporate game, then what you've got to be able to understand is you're going to have periods where you're making a ton of money as a self-employed person, maybe with your side business, working on a freelance basis, or you're going to be someone who has quiet periods too. You know, sometimes you're going to be making, let's just say you make a year's salary within the space of a month or two, and then maybe a couple months are quiet, a couple months are average, then you have a massive boost in your income again. So these are the things you've got to be able to deal with, the volatility of life. You know, when you're working at a standard job and you're getting a regular monthly paycheck, there's a phrase from Nassim Taleb, who wrote that book Anti-Fragile, where he said one of the kind of strongest addictions someone can have is to a regular monthly paycheck, and it leads to a lot of complacency. And I think a lot of people are realizing that complacency is not paying off working a standard corporate job. So what he's trying to demonstrate in this clip I just showed is you have to be comfortable with the, you know, sometimes things are going well, sometimes they're not. If you're going to pursue your own business, you got to embrace the volatility of that and become entrepreneurial in a sense, and understand, you know, good periods, bad periods are going to come, but it's rather have that challenge than be stuck in a dead end job that's going nowhere.
Skills and no network, and everything around me feels like everything's telling me it's too late for you. I'm the same age as you past January. It's never too late to start, dude. It's just, where is your rock bottom? And is your rock bottom more painful than the current feeling of content, right? Because you're not moving. There's something you have to change completely. I hit my rock bottom quite a few times.
So, in terms of the rock bottom, right, what do we mean by that here? So what I'd recommend everyone out there do, use your free time to really think strategically about the life trajectory that you have. And it's important to get started as quick as you can on working towards your life goals and not the company's life goals or whatever's going to benefit your manager. Because the truth is, we all work on teams where if you go up the food chain a few times, you go up the reporting line a few times. In my case, at one of the banks I worked at, I would say, not my direct line manager or the manager above that, but the one above that. So 3 managers above me, they were in a position to retire early. They could easily retire in their early 40s, but everyone else was working like a slave and having very few opportunities to be able to reach that top level because there's only a few senior people in those type of roles who are making significant amounts of money. Everyone else is really not making, they're living paycheck to paycheck in a sense. Even if they can save some money, invest it, it's not enough to retire early. So what you need to do is understand that careers, in a sense, have changed forever, as this video clip is named, but also that you need to get started now. Do you want to work from home and have multiple jobs that you work from home, like you're juggling multiple jobs? Do you want to get hybrid work where you spend some time in the office, some time at home, and on the days you're at home, you maybe work a little less for your main employer and you have some kind of side income that you're doing? Or do you want to perhaps move, you save a significant amount of money over a couple years and then get started on a little side business, or maybe make some investments in real estate, move to a lower cost location like Bali or Thailand, places like that? You need to think carefully like what is actually going to work for you and your lifestyle solution. And this is something I help my clients with as a career coach, to kind of really help them find a unique solution that works for them, because all our life circumstances are very unique, and what we're looking for is unique solutions in a very difficult time in economically and socially in the West.
With 2022 expected to have broken that record further. Sometimes entrepreneurship is not all that it's cracked up to be, and I would encourage caution to anybody thinking of giving up a stable 9-to-5 job to start their own business.
You don't really have to, you don't give up. See, this is the part of this that annoys me. You don't give up your 9-to-5. You work on your business on the side until the income from that business replaces your 9-to-5. So while I was working for that other company, I was working for mine too.
So what we want to cover here is that a lot of people are thinking, they're doing the math, they're figuring out their job is not really going to pay off long term in terms of what they want out of life. But you've got to think about the type of solutions that you can pursue there, right? What are the low risk solutions? And what I mean by that is you can continue working your day job until you do find that alternative income source, or you do build something on the side until it's at a high enough income level for you to quit your job and move abroad, for example. You can maybe understand that it's not really, you've only got one plan. Either you work your main job or you do nothing else, or you go work your side business. You can balance the both a bit. I know it's a juggling act, and I know it's frustrating, and I know it can lead to burnout, but you do your best to kind of maybe on the weekend focus on your side business, weekdays focus on your main business, your main day job. And you should live for your dream, and that's what should motivate you. Because when it comes to motivation and dealing with those really long work hours at your standard, maybe high paying corporate job and your side income, it's easy to burn out, it's easy to become disillusioned, it's easy to give up. But you should always think about what is your why. You should be living for your dream, and always keep a mental visualization of that life you want, and realize that promotions don't pay off, right? So there's another clip on this, which we're not going to go through just in the interest of time, is that given you know now, right, we've got conclusive proof that you can stay at your current day job for now at least. You if you get promotion, it's not going to pay off in a sense. You might get a promotion, a new fancy job title that you don't really care about, because at the end of the day you're working for money. You get a new job title, you get promoted, you maybe get a 5 to 10% pay rise, but the work has gone up 20 to 30%, right? And I've seen some people above me in the corporate hierarchy. I know how many emails I get, and I've been around the desk, and like every 2 or 3 seconds they're getting a new email. And I always think about these corporations. You've got people who are climbing the corporate ladder, and it's these corporations, even though the big names you hear, I won't name them now, but they're incredibly inefficient, these big name companies, and you've got the burden of the inefficiency on your shoulders. Like if you're running an efficient company, a profitable company, you shouldn't have relatively senior people getting like dozens of emails every hour. You should have a more effective workflow solution for that. If you run a small business, as I do, you have efficient ways of organizing workflow, of you not having constant pointless emails that don't require action, pointless chit chat at the desk, inefficient workflows. If you're running an effective business, but what you realize about a lot of these major corporations, they're incredibly bloated, and they think the promotions, you're going to work forever thinking a promotion's going to pay off, but it's not. What you should do is live for your dream. And one thing I do, I have various notepads, various sketchbooks, and I draw out, okay, what is my goal for this month, this year? But also, what's the bigger goal? What am I working towards? I don't want to work forever. I don't want to be in an office forever, and as I'm sure many of you don't. I don't necessarily want the white picket fence and the big oversized house in the suburbs filled with a bunch of crap I'm not going to use. I want a life I actually enjoy on a day-to-day basis, and a fulfilling life. It doesn't have to be a life full of decadence and things like that, or nihilism, hedonism, things like that, but just a life I enjoy, and I maybe spending time in nature, reading books when I want, building my own business, spending time with people I actually like being around, not people in the office environment who could backstab me at any moment, or family members trying to scam you or use you. You want to live life on your terms, and that's what you should always be focused on, and visualize that. Even if you want to draw it out on a piece of paper, what is your life goals? What would your ideal house look like? Bearing in mind these dire financial situations people are in, where things are overpriced, houses are overpriced, even in many cases food are overpriced. Maybe you want to have a small home in the countryside and grow some of your own food with an acre or two of land. Maybe you want to have a business online. Maybe you want to work remotely, work from home. Really focus on what you want. And the truth is, many people are giving up right now. They're giving up on finding the job they want. They're giving up on the lifestyle they want. And I think there's a difference between compromise of dealing with a dysfunctional scenario where you might realize, okay, the economy is completely dysfunctional, maybe opt for a smaller house rather than a bigger house. I wouldn't say that's giving up. I would say that's like a reasonable compromise in a completely dysfunctional, rigged, corrupt system. But what you shouldn't do is, while everyone else is giving up, find a new solution. So if everyone's giving up and they're in a depressive state in the workplace environment, in the office environment, find your exit. Maybe go for a walk throughout the day, spending time in nature. Maybe find an alternative income sources, as I'm discussing, alternative living circumstances. Maybe you continue working your high-paying, stressful corporate job for the next 2 years, save up enough money, invest enough money, and then go and spend 2 to 3 years in a developing economy and maybe build your business there, or actually just live and enjoy life for a couple of years, and then think when you come back to the West, You'll figure it out when you're back here. You know how to make it work for you, how to live a lower cost. So you got to find these unique solutions while everyone else is giving up and feeling miserable for themselves. And just to finish up this one, we've got a few comments here, and you can see different perspectives from different people who've kind of have different scenarios, dealt with difficult financial situations, turned their life around, maybe not completely in the best scenario, but somehow improved. This guy managed to retire debt free, for example. Other people who went through improving their skills and getting higher paying jobs. Some people going into trade school. Trades do tend to pay well because in the corporate environment, so many jobs are being rigged in favor of women. The promotion process being rigged in favor of women or certain minority groups for the sake of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, or didn't earn it, or these type of controversial things which disadvantage men, disadvantage Asians, and so on. So some men are going into trades where they're going to get high six-figure salary. They're going to go work for a major company, and then they're going to set up their own small freelancing company as a plumber or electrician. And that's something I thought about in the past, actually, is doing my corporate job, learning how to be an electrician on the weekends, and then through doing those trade schools, and then doing both things, having electrician skills and finance skills, and then I could have two income sources. I didn't actually do that. I'm working on other things which I'm not going to discuss on camera right now, but I'm working on different income sources, and that's a unique skill set. Can you imagine? Do you know anyone else who's can be an electrician and be a finance professional? Probably not, right? Those are two highly important skills. And like I say, less and less women don't get the benefit of this DEI thing and other minority groups when it comes to the trade schools. So if you want to just focus on high paying skills that only men can do, or only, highly effective, competent people can do, then consider the trades. Maybe you don't want a corporate job. And if you have those trade skills, what that means is maybe you leave your corporate job, you move to the rural countryside areas, and you focus on your off-grid home, and maybe you do the electrics for your own house, and maybe have solar panels to save money and save energy. But you got that electrician skills that you can offer to people who live around you, and you could maybe put local adverts in the local advertising online, SEO, things like that, and then you can get hired and make some money on the side as an electrician, maybe help people with their finances, things like that. So there's all sorts of different solutions there. You shouldn't just give up like everyone else. You should find solutions when everyone else is giving up. Now, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that really opened your mind up in terms of adapting to the new workplace, the new economy. I have 3 things to help you out right now. So we have a free ebook which gives you 10 career lessons from investment banking, which will help you in any corporate career that you're working. Secondly, I offer a free discovery call where I can help you with your career goals, your financial goals. We can talk that out. And then thirdly, I have a control program, which is a detailed one-on-one program where I can help you find career fulfillment, restructure your career growth, develop a career that gives you time freedom, whether it's remote work, work from home, hybrid work, things like that. Work on your financial saving, budgeting, and investing strategy so you can be rich forever and live life on your terms, and essentially live a life you love, right? Which is, like I say, whether it's off-grid, homeschooling your kids, whatever you want to do, I can help you find solutions to all of this. This is something I've worked on with many of my clients. So thanks for listening. There are 2 recommended videos on your screen right now, a free ebook in the description, and I'll see you next time.